Agreement to release more than 100 Palestinian prisoners over the next few months was the breakthrough U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry needed to bring both sides back to the negotiating table. On August 13th, the first group of prisoners sought freedom, and their homecoming sparked raw emotions among Palestinians and Israelis alike. CCTV's Stephanie Freed has the story from Israel.
Yusuf and Fatma waited 20 years to indulge in this simple pleasure. That's because up until this night in mid-August, when Yusuf was released from Israeli prison, they were apart for 2 decades. He was serving 5 consecutive life sentences for killing 4 Israelis, planning a bomb attack against Israelis, and attempting a kidnapping. Yusuf is one of 104 Palestinian prisoners being released by Israel's government in a conciliatory move aimed at keeping peace talks between the sides moving. He was a sort of bargaining chip for peace, but as someone with a close-range view of political inner workings, he is skeptical about prospects for peace.
I don't have any problems with Israelis as neighbors. I have problems with Israelis as occupiers. They want to control us. I want us to control ourselves. That's the only problem.
While in jail, Yusuf says he had time on his hands and books at his disposal. He studied the history of his own people and of the Israelis. He values that. But it hardly makes up for what he lost while behind bars.
I lost my freedom. I lost time and years with my family. I lost both my father and sister while I was inside, and I didn't get to see my son grow up.
Navigating this new reality, he is making up for lost time. Yusuf is still floating on his newfound cloud of freedom. He doesn't know how to send a text message yet, and he still wakes up every morning at roll call time. But some of the things that he lost during 20 years inside of a prison, others will never get back. Bella fondly reminisces about her wedding day 57 years ago. A young 18-year-old bride, she married Moshe, expecting to spend her golden years with him.
He didn't get to see 3 grandchildren being born, 3 great-grandchildren being born. He didn't get to see anything. What do you want me to say about the prisoner release?
20 years ago, Moshe was stabbed to death in his fields by 3 Palestinians. One of his attackers was among the recently released prisoners. Bella is angry and says the prisoner release is unjust. Few people know the cost of this conflict better than Bella. She also lost a son 30 years ago during Israel's war in Lebanon. She doesn't believe there will ever be peace between Palestinians and Israelis.
I don't believe any of them. There won't be peace here. I pray for peace, but I don't think there will ever be peace. I've been here since the War of Independence. Do you know how many wars I've been through?
Yusuf empathizes with Bella, but maintains there are 2 sides to the story.
I understand her pain, but she also has to understand that there are thousands and thousands of Palestinians being killed by members of her army that maybe her family is part of, maybe her son or maybe her brother. I understand her feelings, but she has to understand us too.
The question for Bella and Yusuf, and for the 2 sides of this conflict their lives represent, is whether understanding alone will ever be enough. For The Heat, Stephanie Freed in the Israeli-occupied West Bank.